Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right, like eating healthier, trying to diet, maybe even doing cardio, but you look down in your stomach and it's still looking the exact same? Meanwhile, there's somebody out there that's like losing their belly fat and looking like they're not even trying at all. The truth is, most people are canceling out their fat loss and not even realizing it. And today, I'm gonna break down the actual reasons why you're still not losing belly fat even though you're still dieting. And because I value your time, guys, let's dive right in. So the first mistake that most people are commonly doing, guys, even though they might just be eating healthy, is the fact that you could be overeating. So yes, guys, even though you are eating the right things and you fix that diet in terms of like not eating McDonald's, not eating outside, like good job, bro. But you still gotta remember, if you're consuming way too much of any kind of food or any calories, you're still consuming way too many calories, and that's not gonna put you in a deficit. In fact, it's gonna do the complete opposite. And so the matter of fact is that, like, in order to lose that belly fat, you still have to be in a deficit. Things have not changed, guys. And just because you're eating healthy does not mean that you're taking away from that. So yes, guys, even though some of you may be eating that salad, it could just have just as much calories as that tablespoon of oil or that burger that you're currently eating. Like, guys, you have to understand that, like, you have to look at the nutrition facts and you have to measure out your stuff. Because if you don't measure out your food, you can't truly know how much calories you're consuming at that very point. Another thing, guys, that you have to be very careful with is liquid calories. So any type of dressing, any type of protein shake at home that you make, yeah, if you're not measuring out that peanut butter you're adding, those oats, however many scoops of whey protein that you're adding, then yes, those calories are gonna tend to add up. And even when you're cooking on the stove, guys, and you're adding like olive oil or vegetable oil, which I don't recommend, but if you're using some type of olive oil, guys, and you're just adding it and just winging it, like if you put like a lot, you might be adding 2 servings versus 1. You might think it's only 1 because, you know, that's your go-to type of like serving for whenever you're cooking at all. But I'm telling you guys, you probably might be consuming a bit more than you should. And so, you know, if you're trying to be careful and be very diligent on how much you're trying to put, actually measure it. You know, buy some measuring tools at Walmart. They're very cheap, guys. I'm pretty sure for an olive oil, like on the serving in the nutrition facts, which it's in the back of almost every food label, guys, if you did not know by now. But once you look at the back, I think it's about 1 tablespoon. You know, you measure it, you pour it into there, and then you put it on the pan, and then you move it around so that way, you know, it can go all the way around. It can cook the egg or whatever you're trying to cook very thoroughly. Now, if you're like me and you don't use olive oil all the time, there's also some sprays. Now, I know you guys are gonna be in the comment section, or somebody's gonna be out there saying, oh, they're very bad for you. Oh, you should not use that, they have chemicals. Well, my guy, I'm trying to watch my calories. And in this video, we're not worrying about the ingredients. That's for another video, guys. But regardless of the fact, like, if we're just trying to pay attention to the calories, guys, yes, spray those spray things you could buy at Walmart or Publix or wherever you go. Yeah, they have 0 calories, and so if you spray like 1 time or twice, you're good to go, and you don't have to worry about measuring. That's kind of the lazy way. That's kind of the more convenient way that most people do, and it's kind of the way I'm currently doing right now. The second mistake that a lot of people are doing, guys, is the kind of cheat meal that they're having on the weekend. And so I know I said a 80-20 kind of balance in your life in other videos, but if you like eat so much calories in that one sitting, like let's say on a random Saturday or a random Friday or even Sunday, and that dinner, you just tend to eat all the calories that you just are burned off throughout the week, like, bro, you just reset yourself. Because let's say, for instance, you were, I don't know, like at least 200 calories in a deficit each day for 5 days, and then that 6th day on Saturday, you just tend to eat, I don't know, a 1200 like dinner meal on top of whatever other meals you're already currently eating in your diet, then you just reset yourself. So all those calories you burn, all that deficit you were in, does not matter anymore, because you literally just erased the progress you just made throughout Monday through Friday. And so when I tell you guys to, like, you can have a cheat meal, you still have to be careful, and you still have to be very mindful of what you're picking as your cheat meal. And so I'm not saying you can't have a cheat meal, guys, but you know, if you're going out and about or you're going to a restaurant, instead of getting the double patty on the burger, I know I keep saying burgers in this channel, but it's because I'm a big fan of burgers. That's what my go-to cheat meal is, unless it's Hispanic food. But if it's, I'm Latino, guys, so that's why. But besides the point, if we're talking about American food, I like my burgers and fries, so that's just me. But most restaurants, they do have a menu. It's not 100% accurate, I understand that, and I do tell you guys this, but if you look at the stuff, if they have the option to tell you how much calories is in everything, be mindful and actually pay attention how much calories there is. Or better yet, if you truly want to have that heavy calorie meal, then you're probably gonna have to fast for the majority of the day, or just have a very small calorie meal earlier throughout the day, so that way you can avoid, you know, going over a deficit for the week. Like, that's where we start running into the dangerous zone of resetting ourselves and, you know, going backwards and not making any progress forward. Because the thing is, guys, part of the way that you lose that belly fat is by making sure you're making progress, not just day by day, but week by week. And so one week that you mess up like that big could reset you back like a couple weeks back, and then now you're stuck almost at the starting point from when you started your cut. And that's the last thing we want to do, because you're just going to be running in circles, guys, and then you're just going to be frustrated and wondering why the cut's not working, even though like you're doing all the things you're supposed to do, but you're just messing up by not, you know, paying attention to the calories. You know, guys, that's how crazy it is. Like, calories do matter. Not all calories are created equal, I understand that, but if we're talking about calories as a whole, guys, if you consume too much, it don't matter how much cardio you do at times, because you might not be doing enough cardio to be burning enough calories. You might be consuming way more and faster than what you are burning. So when that happens, guys, you're gonna be over leveraged in the amount of calories you're eating versus the amount you are burning and the amount that you're in a deficit in. So you will no longer be in a deficit, guys. So at the end of the day, guys, you don't need perfection. You just need to be consistent with your goals and your plans. Like, stay consistent with eating what you're eating. That's why I tell you guys that I eat the same exact thing almost every day, guys. Like, the only things I've been switching is what I usually eat for dinner, and that is the type of meat, whether it's ground beef or chicken as of right now. Sometimes every now and then I switch it to steak, but even then, when I go to steak, I have the leaner steak. I have a leaner ribeye. I don't try to have fattier steaks. Maybe every now and then I might switch to that, but apart from that, guys, I don't switch all my meals. I don't get bored of it. I'm okay with making progress. I know some people might get bored, but if that is you, I recommend you switch the sauces or you switch the seasoning. That's kind of the best way to do it. But if you want to get more complicated than that, then I suggest you have 3 types of meals, all around the same calories, in the same portions, so that way, when you feel like Monday you want to switch it to this, you can switch it to that. Same thing for Tuesday, and same thing for Wednesday and Thursday and Friday if you want to go that above and beyond. But if you really get bored, just make sure you have some backup options so that way you can have certain meals in rotation. The third mistake, guys, is that your stress levels is literally keeping you from losing that belly fat. So let's talk about poor sleep, guys. If you're out there getting, I don't know, like 4 to 5 hours of sleep, you are literally hurting yourself. And I say this because like your cortisol levels are way too high. And so if you're running on low sleep, guys, you're literally gonna have like food cravings. Your mood is gonna be horrible. You're gonna be irritated all the time. And so you're not gonna make good decisions. You're gonna eat to comfort yourself, and you're gonna be in an emotional mood swing all day. So your productivity is gone. You can't control your hunger, and now you're just frustrated and sleepy all day. And it's even worse if you gotta go to work. So now you're having to go to work and you can barely function. Like, that's not the best thing you want to do for yourself. Not to mention your metabolism is going to be out of whack as well. The fourth mistake that a lot of people probably are doing is the fact that they're not eating enough protein. One of the main reasons that you're not staying full in your diet, guys, is because you're not centering your meals around protein first. Protein takes longer to digest along with fats, but when you prioritize protein, not only are you hitting your protein goals, but you'll make sure that like your carbs, you tend to eat it towards last, so that way you can stay satiated way longer. Not to mention, because you're eating more protein in your diet, guys, it's gonna reduce your cravings, which tends to happen when you're in a deficit. The last thing we want to have is cravings, because if you have cravings, you're gonna tend to overeat and your emotions are gonna get the best of you. And so some of my favorite like protein, items, food, meals, whatever you wanna call it, you usually see my bread and cottage cheese. Cottage cheese is a big plus because there's extra protein you can get in there. I know some people may not like it, but cottage cheese tends to be lower in calories. Chicken works as well. Ground turkey, ground beef, steak, salmon. I could go on and on. Eggs, nuts, if you really want to eat some nuts. And your most simple gym rat thing, you can have protein shakes as well. The fifth common mistake that a lot of people are doing as well is the fact that you're expecting that belly fat area to leave first. And let me be the first one to tell you, that is not how genetics is gonna work for everyone. Some people might be fortunate enough for their belly fat to be going away first, but in your losing body fat journey, your neck or other areas of your body might be going away first. And so you have to be patient with the results, guys. I always tell you this because I want to tell you the truth. And so that's exactly how it was for me. And because of my genetics, that lower belly fat is where I lost it. Like, that was the last thing for me to go. And so I had to be patient enough to get the results. And so you have to just trust the process and just keep going, because eventually you will lose that belly fat. But if you stop too early and don't keep going, then yes, you're gonna be stuck in your process and you're never gonna get to your desired goal. You have to remember that you cannot spot reduce fat, and the best thing you can do is to stick to the plan and make sure you are doing everything you can to gain more muscle. As you keep gaining more muscle, guys, it does make it easier for you to lose that belly fat, because with muscle, your body metabolism tends to be higher because its metabolic rate helps it burn calories at a much higher rate. And so with all that being said, more muscles, it is going to help you burn that belly fat. But we can't get more muscle, we're not gonna keep working out. And so you have to still be consistent with everything, and you can't neglect any part. You can't neglect the cardio, you can't neglect your diet, you can't neglect being a deficit, and you can't definitely not neglect your training. Because once you lose that belly fat, you don't want to be looking skinny fat and like lose all that fat with no muscle, because then you're gonna look skinny fat like as a toothpick. And so we want muscles on ourselves to keep that hard work and to, show the hard work that we've been working towards. And the last common mistake, guys, is the fact that you have a diet that is not sustainable. And so you have to figure out what works best for you. I can recommend you all the foods, all the meals that I eat, all the diets that you see online, but if it doesn't truly work for you and your lifestyle, then I promise you, you're not going to last in this journey, because you will get to that desired goal. But what tends to happen to people is they start yo-yoing back to how they look. And so in order to avoid, getting back to how you look after you just lost it, like, come on, like, I'm sure you don't want to be working backwards. But in order to avoid that, you have to find meals that you know you're gonna tend to eat for a long time, and meals that you know you'll like and handle. Because part of it too in the journey, guys, is you have to find something you like. If you don't find something that you like and you just eat it just to eat it, you're going to be miserable. And when you're miserable, guys, and you hate the food that you were eating and you can't stand it, guess what? That McDonald's, that fries, those burgers, they're gonna be calling your name, because now that looks more appealing. Now you're gonna tell yourself, hey, I deserve this because I've worked way too hard and I've been overly strict on myself. When in reality, if you found meals that you actually like, you wouldn't be thinking that way because you enjoy those meals anyways. What do you want to find meals that you can eat every day without feeling bad about it, without feeling like you're in an actual diet? Because if that's the case, guys, then you have to take the time to come up with meals that you actually like. Look, I don't have a cookbook, but you can find other people's cookbook. You know, all these fitness influencers, one of them has cookbooks. Greg Doucette on YouTube, he talks about his cookbook all the time. I suggest you guys look into that, because he is one of the people that tries to find ways for you to enjoy certain meals at certain macros. Now, I haven't come up with that, but if that is something you guys could be interested, that could be something later in the future. As of right now, I would just tell you, just make simple meals, because at least that's what works for me. I like to keep things simple. I don't tie pleasure or my emotional state towards food, because I found that that's not sustainable, nor should your happiness correlate or tie to that. Now, yes, I do get excited when I can have a certain meal or certain food I'm gonna try, but that's not all the time, guys. And it should be, I treat it as a luxury experience for myself. When you have that kind of healthy relationship with food, you tend to stick to your diet better. You don't have a unhealthy relationship with food. You tend to live a happier life, actually. By the way, guys, if you find these tips helpful, share this with a friend, share this video with someone that can really use this. And also, guys, thank you for all the support. You guys have been helping a lot. Like, I finally got monetized on YouTube, so I thank you from the bottom of my heart for that. And I appreciate every single one of you guys that is subscribed to me. Because if you haven't subscribed to me, you can subscribe to me now. I come out with videos every week so that way you can be the best version of yourself. I also came out with a buy me a coffee, so I'll link that down below. If you guys want, feel free to support me. Do not feel obligated, guys. But if you want to help me in some way, so that way I can keep improving this channel, keep buying more equipment that's going to help improve these videos, or the mic, or whatever it is, it's gonna go all back into the business. Part of this, guys, is because I wanna give back more to you guys. As I keep giving these free information, I wanna make sure you guys can grow as well. Look, losing belly fat is not about doing magic tricks or doing something spectacular, but it's about finding the small mistakes that's keeping that belly fat there. And so once you can tackle on the bad habits that's keeping that belly fat there, you'll be sure on your way to fixing those mistakes and actually start moving forward in your progress. So now that you know why that belly fat is still stuck there and your stomach is still look the same, even though you're dieting and trying to do everything that you can, I want you to click on this video over here where I talk about why getting to 10% body fat fixes everything. And trust me, guys, these are some of the benefits that you were never thought, because it's not about just looking lean, but your overall lifestyle does improve as well. And in this video, I go way more in depth on what that is. I'll see you guys in the next video.